After many years running thousands of different tests, I have found that 92% of my patients that have ADHD and are entrepreneurs are low in this very specific thing. Now, it's not dopamine. And that's the thing that surprised me the most, is that most people think it's a dopamine problem, but I found after running all these tests and collecting all the data, it wasn't that. In fact, it's not even a neurotransmitter. It is a specific hormone. And this very particular thing is not only impacting your focus, but it's also impacting your energy. It's impacting your motivation and drive throughout the day. It's impacting your sleep. It's impacting your mood. So therefore, you can't function very well as an entrepreneur, especially someone who has ADHD. And the hormone I'm referring to is cortisol. Cortisol has everything that helps us give us energy and focus throughout the day. And if you're insufficient in it, which 92% of you probably watching this have this issue. So how do you treat this? There's a couple ways that I like addressing this. The very first thing that you need to do is, for the next 3 months, is using something either adrenal bovine or adrenal desiccated. This specific thing can help improve your cortisol levels. And what you're going to do is take about 2 to 3 of these, especially if you're using adrenal desiccated, 2 or 3 of these first thing in the morning. So right before you wake up, this will help improve your energy, but more importantly, give you that focus that you need. Now, the second dose, if you do need it, is in the middle of the day, is when you would take about 1 to 2 of these. Now, you only do this for about 3 months, because in the meantime, you should be doing a lot of stress management to lowering that, improving your quality of sleep, exercising more regularly. This will help with improving the adrenal function. And the other thing that you need to be doing is eliminating your overhaul of caffeine intake. As a burnt out entrepreneur, you definitely need to start cutting back on that, especially when you start adding the adrenal desiccated. You will find you won't need as much of the caffeine, because the adrenal desiccated is providing nutrients to the adrenals, whereas caffeine is a stimulant, stimulating and asking more from the adrenals and trying to squeeze as much as possible. And so that's where you reach the state of complete burnout mentally and physically. Whereas the adrenal desiccation is providing that nutrients that you need. And then getting proper food in, exercise, you're starting to support the adrenals. And therefore you don't have to depend on so much on the caffeine. Now, there's a few other things that you do need to do to order to support the adrenals. And that would be testing for other key micronutrients that help make cortisol and help proper functioning, producing and modulating cortisol levels. And that would be testing for vitamin B6, vitamin B5, vitamin B1, and vitamin B12. Also for testing for vitamin D3, vitamin C, as well as zinc and magnesium. And another one to also test for is omega-3 fatty acids. All of these do help with the production and making of cortisol and making sure it's regulated where it's not too high or too low. So if you're deficient in any of these areas, you're going to want to supplement these to support your adrenals to producing a sufficient amount of cortisol. Now, there's several reasons of why you're having lots of different ADHD issues. It isn't just cortisol and these different micronutrients, but there's several other things that can be deficient in. So you should check out my lab protocol that I have for all my ADHD patients that I recommend for people to test for that are critical. So you want to download that in the description below. Now, the next thing is, how can you figure out if you do have low cortisol levels to begin with? And there's 2 ways that you can do this. There's the free way, which you typically would all have people do for the next 7 to 14 days, is journaling your energy levels throughout the day. So every day you need to have a notepad and marking when you feel your energy at the lowest. Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? Is it in the evening time? Or when do you feel the highest energy? And start taking note of this and start seeing a pattern. And if you start noticing, my energy seems to be really lowest in the morning and then mid-afternoon. But about 10 a.m. to 12 o'clock, I'm good. It's when I hit at 2 p.m., all of a sudden it starts to crash. This can give you an idea for the next 7 to 14 days. If you start seeing it's matching that, then you have a better idea of when your cortisol levels are dipping. And this is when you can start supplementing the adrenal desiccated at those particular times. I wouldn't recommend taking it at night because cortisol levels need to be low at night anyways in order for you to fall asleep. The second way, and the simple way, is you can also test for it and test your cortisol levels. Like shown here from this screenshot, it shows specifically where you will have low cortisol levels or spike cortisol levels, so you know how to supplement and treat it. And that's what I do with my patients and clients. Now, like I said, once you have figured this out, you need to make sure you're supplementing correctly, but you can't be heavily dependent on something like adrenal desiccated. You do it for about 3 months, and then you need to start transitioning, providing the proper food and nutrients and stress management and exercise and hydration, all these important things that are going to help support your adrenals. Now, like I was saying before, there is several other things that can be contributing to your ADHD situation, especially as an entrepreneur, to not helping you being productive and efficient throughout the day. So you should watch this video next, where actually 90% of people with ADHD are low in this very specific thing, and you should also be addressing this. So watch this video next.